So, is Airbnb safe? I know you've heard some of the horror stories. You want to be safe, but you want to know, is this for you or not? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how to know. Let's go. Is it safe? I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on Airbnb so you can decide one way or the other. Number 2, I'm going to tell you what you can do to protect yourself. And then number 3, I'm going to share with you what Airbnb did to make you more safe. Okay, so let's kind of get into it. First, let me talk to you about what Airbnb is. Airbnb is the #1 home sharing platform out there, okay? It's both a website and it's an app. If you haven't heard of it, I'm going to give you a link below so you can go ahead and set up your account for free. So what you need to know about Airbnb is that, again, people like you and me can go ahead and they can rent their entire property, or they can put just rooms in their property, all right, on Airbnb. Additionally, it does not have to be a house on Airbnb. Again, these are people's homes. So there are mobile homes, there are wind streams, there are pool houses, there are guest houses. There are a myriad of types of properties on Airbnb because it's a normal person not looking necessarily for a hotel that is on Airbnb. Many people want the homeliness. They want the space to spread out. They want a kitchen. They want to be able to buy groceries. So they want a refrigerator. But at the same time, some people want a home just to themselves. So again, you can list your entire property on Airbnb, or you can put just a room on Airbnb, or you can have a property and break the entire property up and put all of the rooms on Airbnb. There are so many options, and this is why Airbnb is an amazing site and something that you want to start to get into. So let's get into the fun part about how to stay safe. On Airbnb, there are 2 types of people basically on the site. So when we're talking about property, there's the host, the person that has the property, and they're going to list the property out for different people to come to. They can have the entire property again, or they can have a room. That's the host. And then there are people that come and visit Airbnbs. You know, they stay there for a day, a month, you know, sometimes many months. And those are called guests. So on Airbnb, you have hosts and you have guests. Both people have some kind of responsibility in the safety of themselves and the other party. So let's talk about the safety of the host, okay? So I am a host on Airbnb, but I'm also a guest. I go to different Airbnbs, and I usually like to stay in Airbnbs where I have the entire space to myself, okay? Where I am safe, where the place is clean and the place is comfortable, okay? Additionally, as a host, I try to make sure that my properties are the same. I want to make sure they are safe, comfortable, and clean. So I make sure that they are safe. That is the first word, okay? Make sure that I'm not checking in. I'm not spying on people. I don't barge in on them. When they are in my property, they are secure. They can lock the door. They are not in a crazy area where there's lots of crimes and things like that going on. I do my best to make sure that it is a space that is safe and comfortable and clean for that person. And that is the responsibility of the host. So if you are going to be a host on Airbnb, those are the 3 things that you need to focus on. And the way that you would do it is the same way that you would do your own home, all right? Do you lock your own door? I'm pretty sure you do. Do you secure things inside of your car and you don't leave valuables outside of it? I'm pretty sure you do. You know, you want to just follow the same measures that you would follow for your own property as a host, and you want to extend that same respect, that same care for your guests. So let's talk about what are some of the dangers for a host. Well, obviously, as a host, someone could come to your home while you're there. You know, for the most part, like I said, I rent out my entire property. So I'm not there when guests come to check in. I usually create a situation where they can check themselves in. I actually have a whole video on that where they just use a number and then they open the door and then they're inside very safely, okay? But the one danger that a lot of hosts have, and there was something that I had to contend with, is theft. That is probably the #1 danger out there for hosts. Now, again, I'm not talking about hosts that are in the property with the guests. So if you're renting a room in your property and you are at the property and there is a guest inside the property with you, you're probably going to have to take some extra measures where you have a lock on your door and things like that, and you've locked up your valuables. That's always important. Whether you are renting just the room or the entire property, You want to make sure that all of your valuables are secured. You want to take valuables out. You don't want to have things like, your family heirloom in your Airbnb. That's probably not the smart thing to do. You don't want to leave valuables like your checkbook or your credit cards or your personal information or your birth certificates and your kids' social security cards in the property if you're going to have guests there. That just does not make sense, okay? So you want to remove all of your valuables from the property because theft is probably the biggest thing that you're going to have to contend with as a host. And so now I'm going to tell you the fun stuff. Let me tell you what Airbnb has done to protect you, because this is the amazing part. And this is why Airbnb has the growth that it has had. They have put together a few things that really, really helps hosts and guests. So for example, if you find someone, their profile looks a little weird to you, or you feel uncomfortable hosting them, you can totally just decline that request and let Airbnb know, okay? That's one thing you can do. The second thing, Airbnb literally checks out people, okay? They have what's called a verification process. Not that they do a criminal background check. They're not gonna, check the person's DNA, make sure they don't have this, that, and the other. No, they don't do that. But they do check the person's government ID to at least make sure that their identity is verified. And you can, as a host, make sure you only deal with verified guests. And then last but not least, they have implemented, and I absolutely love this, they have an insurance policy, okay? And all of them do. So this is not just Airbnb, okay? So if you have VRBO or HomeAway or Expedia or some of the other ones, there is a myriad of these sites that me and my team can help you with. But all of them now have an insurance policy where they protect you if one of the guests comes to your home and just like destroys it, okay? Now, of course, you'll have your own insurance policy, but the great thing about it is you literally can file a claim with the Airbnb. So I literally had a situation where a television was stolen. I was able to put a claim in and I was able to get my money back. So it was super easy. It wasn't anything difficult for me to do. You just have to follow the procedures with Airbnb and make sure that you don't check in another guest if you have a claim that you want to file. Pretty simple. To answer your question, is Airbnb safe? If you follow the things that I have given you, you can be very confident. Okay, so there you have it. Hopefully you got so much information. I know I shared so much with you. This may be a video that you have to watch again because I shared a little tidbits here and there, and there's so much information about this and you want to be safe when you're doing this. So go ahead and take this opportunity to like this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you click that little notification bell so that you do not miss anything. We are dropping content for you daily on this channel, basically making sure that you have a free course right here for free on YouTube. So make sure you watch all of the videos in this playlist as well so that you can be fully educated and that you can be successful too, to your success.